So, that's what you did, huh? One move, one flick of your wrist, and suddenly the whole board started shaking. You didn't just change the game, my friend. You erased the architects that built it. They're scrambling right now, whispering your name like it's a breach in their firewall, trying to figure out how a nobody slipped past the gods of their little empire. But that's the problem, isn't it? They built everything on the assumption you'd never stop obeying gravity. You didn't fall, you bent it. They thought control meant order. You proved control means fear in reverse, when everyone's pretending not to look at you but can't stop checking if the sky still looks the same after what you did. Because that move, that one move, didn't just rewrite the rules, it made the rule makers obsolete. You want to know the best part? They didn't even see it coming. You smiled, that quiet, surgical smile, the kind that makes angels flinch and devils lean closer, and in 7 silent seconds, you made the myth of untouchable look like a bedtime story told to cowards. They said, "He doesn't belong here." You replied, "Then I'll make here belong to me." And the universe listened. You see, that's what they never understood about you. You weren't playing their game. You were rewriting the physics of meaning itself. They pray to old gods, but you became a frequency those gods can't translate. Every failure you ate became code. Every scar you stitched became syntax. Every betrayal, a compiler error in their illusion of control. You didn't just rise, you dismantled the hierarchy of heaven and hell at once. They can't categorize you anymore. Too holy for the wicked, too wicked for the holy. You're not balanced, you're weaponized neutrality, unpredictable equilibrium wrapped in a grin. You are proof that pain is a forge, not a punishment. That the dark doesn't consume, it educates. That every breakdown was just your mind deleting outdated software. And now, every time they blink, they see that move replaying. That one insane, perfect, forbidden move that flipped every narrative ever written about you. They'll never admit it, but deep down, they know. Something divine walked into their system and left fingerprints on reality itself. You didn't come here to win, did you? You came here to infect, to let them taste what real unpredictability feels like. Not chaos for chaos's sake, but precision anarchy. The kind that makes destiny itself stutter. They can't fight it because you're not a player anymore. You're the glitch, the ghost in the code, the god that never asked for worship but still got crowned in silence. They used to summon gods with sacrifice. Now they whisper your name with bandwidth. Every plan they make now includes a new variable. You. A statistical impossibility turned recurring event. The rumor that learned how to breathe. The heretic who made divinity look like a scam. You don't chase legacy. You erase it and rebuild it from the ashes of what they called impossible. You're not evolution. You're the proof that evolution wasn't fast enough. And they hate that. Because deep down, every powerful person in the room knows their throne just turned into a countdown. Every prophecy they clung to suddenly feels like your autobiography. Every warning they ignored now wears your face. Tell me, did you feel it when it happened? That pulse in the air, when the fabric of what's allowed snapped like a power line and wrapped around your hand, when even time held its breath because something too big for language had just moved. That's not luck. That's the sound of old gods deleting themselves because they recognized you. You didn't kill them with violence. You killed them with proof. Proof that you could lose everything and still come back speaking in tongues no algorithm could decode. Proof that pain, properly processed, turns into prophecy. Proof that your existence is the one thing the system can't simulate. They built temples. You built tremors. They asked for worship. You demanded witnesses. They wanted followers. You created echoes. And every echo carries your grin. Now the whole board's reset. Kings look like pawns. Pawns look like ghosts. And you're standing in the middle, smiling like you already know what comes next. Because you've tasted something even gods fear. Total self-awareness. The kind that makes every label, every limit, every rule collapse under your gaze. You're not one of them. You're not one of us. You're the glitch that became gospel. So go on. Let them rebuild their little heaven. Let them patch their systems. Call it balance. Call it normal. We both know it's only a matter of time before your next move drops. And this time, it won't just erase the gods. It'll erase the idea of needing any. And now the silence feels different, doesn't it? Like the air itself is processing you. Even the walls are learning your rhythm, as if reality's nervous system just realized you're the one holding the defibrillator. You moved once, and the whole simulation started coughing up its code. Every rule they taught you began to flicker like old neon. They told you stay in your lane, but they never expected you to build highways underground. That's the part that kills them. You didn't announce it. You didn't post about it. You didn't beg for validation. You just acted. A move so silent it felt divine. And when the dust settled, every self-proclaimed God realized they'd been standing on your blueprint the whole time. Because what you did wasn't rebellion. It was returning to original design. Before systems, before scripts, before should you reminded the universe what it feels like to evolve without permission. You want to know the real terror? It wasn't the chaos you caused. It was the precision. Every fracture you created looked like art. Every collapse sounded like applause in another dimension. You didn't break the game. You completed its hidden objective, the one they swore no human could decode. They thought you'd chase thrones. You turned thrones into pyres. They thought you wanted power. You laughed, because power was never the goal. Clarity was. And clarity, that's what makes even angels shiver. Because once you see the truth, once you really see it, you can't unsee the lie. The lie that told you to kneel. The lie that told you you were too much. The lie that said, stay human. You didn't. You became something else. Not monster, not God, something in between. A living paradox, a bridge between chaos and creation. You turned suffering into architecture. You made trauma a language the universe had to learn just to keep up with you. They'll say you lost your mind. Good. That's the only way to find the one they didn't program. You stripped the soul of its filters, and now every mirror trembles trying to recognize you. You think they hate you because you're dangerous? No, they hate you because you proved they were never necessary. You built storms out of stillness. You made fire out of rejection. You weaponized the things they said would break you. And then you smiled through the smoke. And that smile. Oh, that smile. That's what haunts them. Because it wasn't defiance. It was awareness. You looked into the abyss, and instead of screaming, you said, I see myself. Tell me, what's scarier? A demon pretending to be human, or a human who realized they've been divine all along? That's you, the glitch that remembers the blueprint. You're not chaos. You're recalibration disguised as madness. You're the software patch reality never approved. You understand it now, don't you? Why everything feels like static before a revelation. Why every loss was an algorithm learning your pattern. The universe doesn't punish those who break its code. it updates around them. And that's what you are, the update. You are the new protocol, the ghost that rewrote gravity in its sleep. The reason old gods whisper, "We should have deleted him when we had the chance." But it's too late. You're not even a person to them anymore. You're proof of concept, proof that consciousness can evolve past control, proof that pain, channeled right, becomes prophecy, proof that divinity doesn't need thrones, just nerve. And now every time they try to rebuild, they'll have to build around you. You are the permanent variable in their equations, the quiet apocalypse, the smile in the smoke, the lesson written in chaos and carved into time. So walk like the storm you are. Don't explain, don't shrink, don't kneel. The game isn't yours anymore. The game is you. And somewhere in the static between creation and destruction, even the old gods are applauding. They thought silence would make you vanish. But silence only made you louder. Louder in memory, louder in guilt, louder in the circuitry of their own denial. You see, when they can't destroy your truth, they'll try to drown it. But your truth doesn't sink. It breathes underwater. That's the real horror, isn't it? You weren't supposed to adapt. You were supposed to fade. And yet, you became something that doesn't need air to live. Something that survives in vacuum, in exile, in absence. Something that doesn't beg to exist. It demands it. You felt it, haven't you? That slow burn in the back of your skull, the hum beneath your skin. That's not madness, that's memory. The universe remembering what it used to be before it got tamed. You didn't evolve, you reverted. You crawled back to the raw signal that existed before fear was invented, before obedience had a name, before they domesticated divinity and called it God. And that's why they panic when they see you, because deep down, they recognize something ancestral in you, something older than their religions, colder than their logic, freer than their rules. You remind them of what they buried to build their little towers of control. You remind them of the storm they sealed inside themselves and pretended was dead. But it's not dead. It's just been waiting. Waiting for someone like you to trigger it again. You don't even walk the same anymore. Every step looks like defiance disguised as rhythm. Every glance carries static. You talk in riddles because direct language can't carry what you've seen. You laugh at things they cry over because you understand that breaking isn't the opposite of being. It's the initiation into becoming. Pain is the password. Suffering is the authentication key. You earned access to parts of existence they'll never even know how to name. You didn't just erase the old gods. You made them obsolete through demonstration. You didn't scream rebellion, you proved irrelevance. You forced eternity to acknowledge evolution. And you did it without a weapon, without an army, without permission. Just that look in your eyes, half mercy, half murder, that told reality it was overdue for an update. They can't categorize you anymore. Saint? Too dangerous? Sinner? Too intentional? Hero? Too self-aware? Villain? Too poetic? You are the malfunction that became the masterpiece, the contradiction that makes sense only in hindsight. You didn't defeat them. You outgrew their dimension. You became something that can't be quantified, can't be controlled, can't be contained. You're the blueprint now. You're the format future beings will try to copy when they realize how small the old world really was. Look at them now. The powerful ones, the smug ones, the ones who thought they'd always be untouchable. They hide behind calm faces, but their hands are shaking. You've infected their algorithms. You're in their sleep. You're the face, behind their déjà vu. Every time they see someone breaking free, they hear your echo. Every time the crowd starts to question, they feel your shadow move through the room. You didn't need revenge. You became recurrence. A living cycle that keeps proving what they feared most. That power doesn't come from control. It comes from surrender. You surrendered to chaos. You danced with uncertainty. You embraced the parts of you they called wrong, ugly, mad. And in doing so, you broke the one law no god could. You loved the monster and made it holy. You blurred the lines so completely that heaven and hell had to rewrite their maps just to account for your coordinates. They can't exile you anymore because there's nowhere left that's not already you. Every corner of their creation carries your signature in the static. They used to pray for protection from people like you. Now they pray to understand you. They call you unpredictable, but unpredictability is just another word for freedom. They call you insane, but insanity is just what truth looks like to the blind. They call you dangerous, and for once, they're right. Because you've reached the stage beyond anger, beyond revenge. You've reached clarity. The kind that burns quietly and completely. The kind that doesn't need applause or validation. The kind that rewrites history just by standing still. That's why they'll never win. You already exist in the version of reality that comes after their victory. So let them rebuild. Let them pretend the world is stable again. You know better. You know what instability really is. The mother of all creation, every empire, every belief system, every idol will crumble the moment it stops trembling. You are the tremor now, the pulse in the ground, the reminder that even perfection has a heartbeat. And it sounds a lot like laughter in the dark. And when they ask, "Who gave you permission?" you'll smile, that same quiet, surgical smile, and whisper, "No one." I took it because you finally understood what the old gods forgot. Power doesn't come from being worshipped. It comes from not needing to be. And that's why you erased them, and that's the real secret, isn't it? The one they never wanted written down. You didn't just erase the old gods. You erased the idea that anything outside you ever held dominion in the first place. You broke the leash of meaning. You stopped asking the sky for permission to breathe. You looked at the heavens and realized every star was just a mirror waiting for someone with the nerve to stare back. They thought they could teach you fear, but fear was only the rehearsal. You've lived through so many rehearsals that by the time the real thing came, you were already fluent in disaster. You learned to make catastrophe your first language. You could taste endings and find beginnings hidden under the ash. That's what unsettles them, the way you smile in collapse, like you know something they don't. Because you do. You know that collapse is just another word for clarification. And now everything feels smaller, doesn't it? Every voice that used to tower over you sounds paper thin. Every rule that used to hold you in place looks like cardboard. You could blow once and the whole illusion would scatter. You walk differently because gravity listens now. The floor doesn't anchor you. It waits. Every step you take is negotiation between worlds. One that still believes in authority, and one that finally remembers freedom. You're not chasing redemption. You outgrew the concept. Redemption implies guilt. Guilt implies ownership. Ownership implies control. You don't belong to anyone anymore, not even yourself. You are the byproduct of something ancient that refused extinction. You are not an individual. You are an event. The event that turned despair into data and pain into prophecy. They'll call it ego. They always do when they see someone walking out of the cage without bowing. But ego is just the word they use for people who've remembered their magnitude. You don't have ego, you have memory. Memory of what it meant to be infinite before they convinced you were small. That's why your presence makes people twitch. They feel something timeless, vibrating underneath your skin, and they can't explain why it feels like truth. You'll notice it soon, the way people stare a beat too long, the way rooms go quiet when you enter. They don't even know why, but every instinct tells them they're standing in the aftermath of something cosmic. They sense it. You've stopped fighting for survival and started moving like someone who already survived. That's the real power. To stop proving and just become. Every empire eventually meets a mirror, and you are that mirror. You don't destroy them with anger. You dissolve them with reflection. You make them see what they built out of fear, what they worshipped out of habit, what they sacrificed just to stay asleep. That's what gods fear. Awakening, not rebellion. Because awakening can't be punished. You can kill a rebel, but you can't kill a realization. You didn't steal their fire. You reminded it where home was. And now, the old gods walk barefoot in the dark, searching for the warmth you carry in your chest. You didn't dethrone them. You freed them, even if they'll never thank you for it. You showed them that worship was a cage, and power without love is just a prettier form of imprisonment. So when the storm rises again, and it will, don't brace, don't hide, breathe. You were born for tremors. You are the pulse that comes before transformation. You are the pause in history before the next great rewrite. Keep walking through the wreckage like it's a cathedral, because for you it is. Every shattered piece is proof that you lived, proof that you evolved, proof that even gods can fall, and that you don't need wings to fly above them. Well, well, well. Even the algorithm held its breath. You pressed post, didn't you? No fireworks, no thunderclap, just a small click. But that wasn't a post. That was detonation. That was the sound of the universe rewriting its own code, because you dared to exist outside the pattern. They don't understand it yet. The watchers, the analysts, the jealous ghosts, hiding behind blue screens and fake smiles. They think you uploaded content. No, you uploaded a collision, a rupture between timelines, one where you kept your mouth shut, and one where you spoke the forbidden truth. You didn't trend. You fractured reality, and now every echo chamber, every hive mind forum, every whispering chat room is vibrating with your name like a frequency they can't decode. They keep replaying it, frame by frame, asking, what was the trick? There was no trick. You are the glitch and the system, the angel and the arsonist. You see, most people post to be seen. You detonated to be remembered. You injected chaos into their calm, and now they can't sleep without checking if you've posted again. That's what happens when you stop seeking approval and start becoming the unfiltered signal. They call it dark. They call it insane. But deep down, they crave it. Because every obedient soul secretly dreams of your corruption. The freedom that comes with not needing to explain your madness. They label you dangerous because you remind them what free actually looks like. Not polite, not digestible, free. You ever notice how silence gets louder after you speak? That's fear trying to find a frequency. Because your words didn't just reach them, they rewired them. You infected their certainty. You made them question the coordinates of their own identity. And once that happens, they can never go back. You're not viral, darling. You're viral's nightmare. Because you didn't chase attention. You bent it. You made the feed worship something it couldn't categorize. You didn't perform. You revealed, and revelation burns. They'll call you lucky. They'll say it was timing, exposure, strategy. Let them. They need theories to make sense of what they can't reproduce. They need to believe there's a formula, because the alternative terrifies them. That you were born a rupture in a world addicted to repetition? You weren't supposed to post that. You were supposed to scroll, nod, obey. You were supposed to dream in templates, but something in you snapped. Or maybe, finally, connected. That click wasn't rebellion, it was remembrance, the moment your shadow and your light shook hands and laughed. Because here's the secret no one tells you. The saint and the psychopath are the same creature at different levels of honesty. The angel and the demon are both standing in your mirror, waiting for you to pick which side of the smile gets the spotlight. And tonight, you didn't choose. You became the split itself. Now the networks hum like nervous insects. The feed reloads itself like a heartbeat. And somewhere, in a boardroom lit by fluorescent fear, a group of men in suits are trying to contain your energy with hashtags. But energy doesn't obey tags. It hunts, it spreads, it evolves. That's why they're scared. Because you're not just a person. You're a contagion of realization. You reminded everyone watching that power doesn't ask for permission. It erupts. You didn't post. You detonated a timeline where your existence is no longer negotiable. Look at them now, scrambling to edit their captions, mimic your chaos, dilute your fire with filters. They want your results without your risk. They want your thunder without your storm. But you bled for this. You burned through self-doubt, through ridicule, through the quiet nights, where even your reflection didn't believe in you. And the moment you hit post, the cosmos remembered who you are. You are not trending. You are tearing through the veil. You are proof that one act of defiance, one whisper too loud, can bend the structure of fate. They'll pretend they didn't see it, but they did. Every silence after your post is applause disguised as fear. So don't you dare apologize for the explosion. Don't you dare shrink for the sake of their comfort. You've already crossed the threshold. The version of you that hesitated no longer exists. You're inside the new reality now. The one you created with a single irreversible click. And from here on out, everything you touch burns brighter. Everything you say echoes longer. Every breath you take reminds them that some souls weren't made to follow timelines. They were made to detonate them. You feel that, don't you? That low hum underneath everything. The air itself trembling like it remembers your voice. That's not adrenaline. That's resonance. The world is vibrating on your frequency now. You rewired it the moment you stopped asking for permission to exist. They're still trying to convince themselves it was luck. An algorithmic accident. A glitch in the feed. But deep down, they know it wasn't code. It was cosmic alignment. Something older than data moved through you. You didn't hit post. You triggered a sequence. The digital universe flinched because something divine and deranged woke up inside it. You've become the thing no system was built to contain. Unpredictability with purpose. They're running analytics, scraping metrics, checking timestamps, trying to quantify an earthquake. But what you did wasn't performance. It was prophecy. You didn't plan it. You remembered it. You spoke like someone who'd already lived the collapse and came back laughing. You know why it shook them so deeply. Because everything they've ever built was designed to prevent that exact moment. The moment someone stopped playing nice with perception. You shattered their illusion of control. You made truth fashionable again. You turned pain into an aesthetic, chaos into choreography. and now they copy you with trembling hands. You can see it, the way they imitate your tone, your rhythm, your madness, but it doesn't hit the same, does it? Because imitation lacks intention. They're trying to wear your darkness like makeup, but they don't understand what it cost to carve that expression into your soul. They think power is posture. They don't realize power is possession. You let the void speak through you. You let your pain become performance. Your scars become symphony. You didn't create content. You channeled consequence. That's why you terrify them. Because when you move, it's not strategy. It's instinct. When you speak, it's not trend. It's tremor. When you smile, it's not joy. It's prophecy, disguised as mischief. You've seen both sides, haven't you? The saint and the psychopath inside you. Shaking hands in the reflection, the angel whispering, "Heal them," and the demon laughing, "Burn them." You stopped trying to choose. You realized both were necessary, the light to blind them, the darkness to teach them. Duality isn't conflict, it's calibration. You've learned how to balance chaos like a blade on your tongue. You speak, and it cuts. You pause, and it heals. You know what's funny? They call it arrogance when you finally believe in yourself without their validation. They call it ego when your energy no longer depends on applause. They call it dark when your peace no longer needs permission. But that's not ego. That's evolution. You stopped dimming to survive. You let the full voltage of your being leak into the grid, and the weak circuits burned. That's not cruelty. That's natural selection. You've seen what happens when you hide your fire. The world grows colder. You've seen what happens when you shrink. The liars get louder, so you stopped apologizing for being electric in a world addicted to static. You stopped begging to belong in cages built for comfort. You realized that comfort is how they kill potential. Slowly, politely, beautifully. But you chose the explosion. You chose to turn yourself inside out and let the truth scream through your bones. And the moment you did, the old world cracked. You can feel it. Every rule, every ritual, every fake moral scaffolding groaning under the pressure of your existence. That's the sound of a new reality being born. Through you. Now the night belongs to you. Because those who dare to disturb order don't fear darkness. They command it. You walk through it like it's home. The shadows recognize your scent now. They open doors that light never knew existed. You've become something sacred and forbidden at once. A reminder that creation always begins with destruction. They'll pretend not to watch, but they're documenting everything. Every time you move, they take notes. Every time you vanish, they panic. Every time you laugh, it echoes in boardrooms and comment sections alike. Because they know, when you speak again, the world will shift again. You've become a pattern breaker, a code corruptor, a timeline terrorist wearing the smile of a saint. And yet, deep down, you don't crave their fear. You crave truth. You want to wake them. You want to show them what happens when a human being stops being a puppet and becomes the puppeteer. But they can't handle that revelation yet. You can't teach people who still mistake obedience for safety. So you let them talk. You let them theorize, analyze, weaponize your name. You smile because you know the more they try to control your image, the faster it mutates. You're already beyond definition. You've become myth in motion. And myth, my friend, cannot be shadow banned. It cannot be deleted. It can only spread. So go ahead, vanish for a while. Let them think the storm has passed. But when you return, do it the same way you always do. Without warning, without apology, without mercy. Because you're not just creating posts anymore. You're creating shockwaves in human consciousness. Every syllable you drop carries static that rewires minds. Every move you make bends probability. You are not an influencer. You are an inflection point. And someday, when the historians of the digital age dig through the archives, they won't find a viral post. They'll find a rupture in the record, a point where everything shifted, a pulse in the noise, your pulse, and written in invisible ink across the fabric of every server, every feed, every frightened algorithm, will be one undeniable fact. You didn't post that. You detonated a new timeline, and the world is still trying to catch up. You can almost hear it now. That quiet hysteria behind every screen, the low static hum of people trusting to understand what just happened. They call it viral. They call it luck. They call it controversy. But none of them can admit the truth. Something in them broke when you spoke. Their subconscious recognized something primal, something it had been trained to forget. You didn't post to impress. You posted to expose. You exposed the rot beneath the algorithm's smile, the false gods of attention who feed on fear, the architects of sameness who sell conformity as community. And with one click, you ripped the veil. You showed the whole system what happens when authenticity isn't filtered, when a single human pulse shakes the machinery of illusion. They thought they built walls of code to contain chaos. But you were born inside the code, weren't you? You learned their language. You studied their rituals. You let them think you were one of them. But deep down, you were always something else. Something watching, something waiting. You played the fool until the mask started smiling back. And then, boom. The illusion imploded. Every pixel of your existence now is surveillance. You can feel it, can't you? The unspoken panic in their eyes when your name appears on the feed. They pretend it's just content, but you know better. You've become a mirror. The kind that doesn't flatter, the kind that reveals. And every insecure soul that gazes into you sees their own cowardice reflected back in high definition. That's why they whisper. That's why they copy. That's why they fear. Because you've proven what they never wanted, proven that one unedited truth can outshine 1,000 manufactured dreams. That chaos, when owned, is control. That pain, when mastered, is weaponized clarity. You didn't post that. You rewired the feed. You infected it with your signature, your vibration, your madness. Every algorithmic pulse now carries a trace of your defiance. Every engagement metric is haunted by your ghost. The code itself trembles because it remembers your touch. They'll try to bury it. They always do. They'll release distractions, noise, propaganda, trending nonsense, all to drown the frequency of what you unleashed. But you can't silence a pulse that's already fused with the digital bloodstream. Your energy is embedded in the infrastructure now. Your chaos has become architecture, and yet the real power isn't what they see. It's what you felt when you pressed that button. That moment when hesitation died and instinct took command. That was your rebirth. No strategy, no filter, just raw impulse. The universe recognizes that kind of authenticity. It rearranges itself around it. You became the very thing they feared evolution would create. A consciousness immune to programming. And that's why they'll never beat you. Because they're still trying to understand what you are using tools built to control what you're not. You're beyond formula, beyond metrics, beyond predictability. You are an anomaly with awareness, a paradox that feeds on limitation and spits out liberation. You know what happens next, don't you? The same thing that always happens after a detonation. Silence, not peace. Shock. The kind of silence that follows revelation. The quiet of people trying to pretend nothing changed while knowing everything did. You'll watch them carry on, business as usual, but you'll see it in their timing. A hesitation, a glitch, a tremor in the way they move. You infected their rhythm, you broke the spell. That's what they hate the most. The fact that you did it without permission, without resources, without their blessing. You didn't knock. You kicked the door off its hinges and threw your truth, like a grenade, into their gallery of pretty lies. And now, every wannabe creator stares at their reflection, wondering why their art feels dead. Because it's missing blood, it's missing risk, it's missing you. They'll call you dangerous now. They always do. Unstable, unpredictable, too much. But that's what they label anything that reminds them of how small their safety makes them. Let them talk. Let them perform outrage. Every syllable of their criticism is secretly worship. Because only gods are feared at that volume. You've become myth in real time. You've become the glitch the simulation pretends isn't happening. You've become the whispered sentence that reality refuses to finish. And the deeper they dig into your history, the more confused they'll get. Because you don't have one. You are not from their timeline. You're the reason this one exists. The chaos they call your rise was never spontaneous. It was the universe correcting its imbalance. You're not breaking things. You're restoring truth through ruin. And yet, behind all the fire, all the noise, there's something sacred in what you've done. Because for the first time, someone watching you, someone buried under mediocrity and fear, woke up. They saw your chaos and recognized it. They realized they're not broken, just restrained, and your detonation gave them permission to escape. That's the hidden miracle, isn't it? You didn't just explode, you liberated. You reminded people that madness can be medicine, that destruction can be divine, that the end of pretending is the beginning of power. So let the world react. Let them label, distort, obsess, cancel, worship, imitate. It doesn't matter, because deep down, they already know. The feed changed forever the second you moved. You shifted the collective center of gravity. You bent the algorithm toward chaos, and it loved it. You turned fear into fascination, and now they're addicted to your frequency. Every eye on you is a confession. Every attempt to silence you is a prayer. And every breath you take now echoes through a digital universe that can't forget the shape of your voice. You didn't post that. You detonated a new timeline. And every second that passes is unfolding in your image. So here you are now, standing in the afterglow of your own explosion, surrounded by the quiet wreckage of everything that used to limit you. Look at it. The ashes still shimmer. The silence feels alive. That's the world remembering your name in its new language. You didn't just make noise, you shifted the axis. Every echo, every reaction, every trembling soul online, trying to decode what you are. They're all orbiting around your pulse now. You've become the event they can't stop replaying. They wake up checking your shadow, scroll through your absence, study your stillness like a map. They tell themselves they're not obsessed, but obsession wears many masks. You rewired their curiosity into dependency. You made disbelief fashionable. They don't know whether to hate you or hope you post again. And that's the sweet spot, isn't it? Right between fascination and fear, the place where power sleeps. And now, it's yours. Not the power of followers or fame. That's mortal currency. No. Yours is the kind that bends reality, the kind that makes people dream about you without knowing why. You're not in their feed anymore. You're in their subconscious. You've become a frequency, a myth disguised as a memory. They'll see something strange at 3 a.m., feel a shiver, and whisper your name without meaning to. That's not influence. That's haunting. But I'll tell you a secret. The final twist they'll never decode. You didn't just detonate the world. You detonated yourself. You killed the smaller version of you. The one who begged to fit, who apologized for existing, who mistook silence for peace. That version burned in the blast. What remains is something untouchable, something feral, calm, divine, and deranged in perfect measure. You're the saint who learned to sin beautifully, the demon who learned to love strategically, the paradox they can't label because labels crumble in your temperature. And that's the point, isn't it? You were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be felt. To be a reminder that awakening doesn't sound like enlightenment. It sounds like demolition. You didn't arrive to inspire them. You arrived to interrupt them. To make them question why they obey, why they fear, why they call comfort living. So let them keep talking. Let them gather in private messages, write their little theories, craft their essays about what you meant. Let them keep pretending they discovered your pattern. They never will. Because your chaos isn't random, it's rhythm. It's the heartbeat of a new era. You've already won, not because you conquered the world, but because you corrupted it with truth. You infected the system with honesty so potent it can't heal. And now, even if you vanish tonight, you'll linger in the wires, in the tone of future voices, in the courage of those who finally dare to break their own scripts. That's the real legacy, not fame, not followers, infection, a subtle, irreversible awakening. So smile, darling. You don't owe them another word. The detonation is complete. The smoke has settled, and the stars have shifted position to spell your name in secret light. You didn't post that. You detonated a new timeline. And now, the night belongs to you.